Since its creation in 1952, Miss Universe has become a global tradition. The broadcast reaches over 190 countries, bringing together millions of viewers. And although the United States and Venezuela lead, Mexico does not lag behind, because in Mexico the misses are not just queens, but heroines and legends. I will introduce you to the pioneer, the favorite, the controversial one, and the modern one. But stay with me, because I will introduce you the most exceptional miss in history and the most surreal. The one who went from the runways to prison for the crime she committed. The true femme fatale, the crime of passion and tragedy dressed in gala. And don't worry, gentlemen, at the end of the video you will have more satisfaction than ever in your life. Lupita Jones, the highest score in all categories in Las Vegas, the first Mexican woman to win. A lover of weightlifting, charreria, Mexican rodeo, and bread, this woman from Mexicali, Baja California, went from a male-dominated environment to winning the World Beauty Contest, right when she was at the age limit. She mentions in interviews that the world of runways felt very distant because as a child she spent her afternoons with her four brothers, and she says that she felt ugly. Her own mother would ask her why she wasn't more feminine. Before beauty contest, she was studying for a bachelor's degree in business administration and going to the gym. As an interesting fact, in 2006, a wax figure was unveiled in her honor, 15 years after she was chosen as the most beautiful woman in the world, making her the first Miss Universe in history to have a wax figure. Additionally, Lupita Jones took part in Telemundo's hit series El Señor de los Cielos, where she plays Amaranta, a tough, iron-fisted prosecutor, firm in her convictions and bound to the law. It took 19 years for another Mexican woman to be crowned Miss Universe. She was Jimena Navarrete, la Tapatía from Guadalajara. The contestant won, by the way, in 2010, coinciding with more than 200 years of Mexico's independence and 100 years of the Mexican Revolution. In August 2012, she participated alongside Carlos Loret de Mola and Victor Trujillo in Primero Londres, First London, as part of Televisa's coverage of the 2012 London Olympic Games. After her reign year ended, she ventured into hosting. In 2013, she made her acting debut in the telenovela La Tempestad, alongside William Levy and singer Daniela Romo. Andrea Mesa, the third Mexican winner, is originally from Chihuahua and was crowned in 2021 in the most delayed ceremony in Miss Universe history. She also holds the record for the shortest reign, lasting only 7 months due to the COVID-19 health crisis. By the way, she's a software engineer. She currently lives in Miami, where she works as a television host for Telemundo. Fatima Bosch, the 20-year-old girl from Tabasco, not only gave Mexico its fourth crown, but also a story of bravery. Since childhood, she suffered from attention deficit disorder and dyslexia, which made her feel different, but nevertheless. She studied fashion design at the Universidad Iberoamericana, and her red dress followed the tradition of Mexican queens. One of the event organizers publicly reprimanded her for not sharing promotional content. It was an awkward episode, but Fatima did not bow down. With a firm voice, she replied, "I have a voice, and as women, we deserve respect. I am here representing my country, and it's not my fault that you have a problem with my organization." Her fellow contestants left the room with her, and the news went around the world. But what shone most in her was her authenticity. She wanted to be remembered not as a flawless queen, but as a woman who dared to break the mold. "I would like to be remembered as a real person who gives her heart," she said after receiving the crown. She was born in 1910 in the midst of the Mexican Revolution. The most beautiful woman, the most admired woman in Mexico, who would later become the twilight of her own life. Maria Teresa Landa left the convent school to enter the first beauty contest in Mexico in 1928. In May of that year, she would be officially announced as Miss Mexico. In the downtown of Mexico City, people crowded to the streets to see her arrive in her carriage. It seemed like a dream come true. A few months later, she married a much older man, a military officer, General Vidal. The couple moved to Veracruz and she stepped away from the spotlight. But one ordinary Sunday morning, Maria Teresa was about to have breakfast when she saw a newspaper on the table that her husband had left unfinished. She picked it up and, as she read, a headline caught her attention. Her husband had been sued and was about to be tried by another woman who accused him of bigamy. She couldn't believe it, and consumed by jealousy, she grabbed a revolver. When her husband appeared, she shot him. She killed him with 6 shots. She was later taken to the Belén prison and all the newspapers announced the news. And that's not all, because the trial lasted 5 hours and she was acquitted of the murder she had committed. At the preparatory school of San Ildefonso College, now a museum, she began her career as a teacher of history and philosophy, but the story of having been her husband's killer never faded until the end of her days. Have you ever imagined this? Please let me know in the commentaries which mixed Mexican universe have you liked the most. Here you have a full guide of Mexican movies you should watch, and here you have the Mexican locations used by Hollywood and are secret.